Yo, what up folks, it's me, Barky, and I'm here with another mod for Rimworld Beta 18, and this mod is the Android Tiers mod. So as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of Androids set up standing in front of us over here. Now, there is another mod made by Cheese, or CHGs, whatever you want to say, called Androids, which does something relatively similar to this, but this is not an extension to that mod, it's actually a different one entirely. So anyways, this is the Android Tiers mod, and I'll introduce the androids we have over here. So we have the tier 1, the tier 2, the tier 3, the tier 4, and then these two are both tier 5s, but this one is not enhanced and this one is mega enhanced, because that is the crux of this mod. Pretty much you get to make these androids that can join your colony using these two benches. I'll put them down over here so you can see them a bit clearer. Put you down, cybernetic workplace, these two benches over here. So you get the Robotics production casket and the cybernetic parts workbench, and it takes 150 steel, 5 components, and 40 plasteel for the production casket, and 100 steel, 15 components, and 20 plasteel for the cybernetics parts workbench. So this is a very expensive mod. This is a workshop I have right now, and you can just see how much stuff I put down to sort of make all the additions to the mod that you can make. So I've got all these implants and stuff like that. You need quite a few AI persona cores and stuff like that. So let me go through the Android stats and the research you need for them, so you can just get an idea of what these are for. So let's take a look at the research quickly. So it has its own tab over here called Androids tab, and you can check it out. It starts off with basic robotics, which needs machining to be used, and it comes all the way up to AI Persona Fabrication, which actually allows you to make AI persona cores, because you do need quite a few to make some of the late end tech. This is a very late game mod though. Even the tier 1 androids, like this guy over here that looks like he's barely holding himself together, is very late game in general, but it's still very awesome though. So this is the robotics production casket, and you can create the androids you want to make over here. So you get blank tier 1 android, tier 2 android, tier 3, tier 4, and then tier 5 is a bit of a secret, but I'll get into that just now. And then you do get other ones such as the K9 cybernetic unit and the Muff unit, so we can go ahead and make those quickly just so you can take a look at what they look like. But here we have this dog, K9 dog. Let me give him hauling. Looks very cool. And then we have the Muff unit, which is a Muffalo. It's a robotic Muffalo. Alright, all our androids have left us. They decided they were getting bored of waiting here. Anyways, let's take a look at the tier 1 stats. So obviously when you make an android, it actually gives itself traits that your human colonists have. So if I take a look at its base, I need to take a look at its base stats to actually get a rough idea of how good they are. So global work speed, which is probably the most important one that most people care about, is at 40%, the base value, which is pretty cool. It moves at 3 CS, which is quite slow. It's slower than a normal human, but in a lot of ways it's a lot better. So toxic sensitivity is lower, psychic sensitivity is lower, stuff like that. It only goes up to 35 degrees and minus 45. But yeah, but then it has 1000% immunity gain speed, and they actually all have 1000% immunity gain speed. So that's tier 1. Let's take a look at tier 2, and global work speed is at 80%, movement speed is at 450, which is around the same as a normal colonist, although I think this is the default speed of a colonist, but you'll never find a colonist who's always at the default anyways. Global learning factor at 90%. Temperature wise, it goes up a lot more. It's an extra 40 degrees Celsius either way, which is fantastic. Immunity gain speeds at 1000%, as they all are, which is pretty cool. Let's take a look at the tier 3. Tier 3 looks a lot more human than the first two. As you can see, it's starting to take on the shape of a human. If I can just click away from it, you can see it's got a rough edge to it. I mean, it doesn't have that rough edge to it. So then we have the tier 3. Wait, what? Huh, tier 3 is actually slower than the tier 2. That's interesting. It's probably because the body size is a lot bigger. That's pretty cool. Global learning factor at 175%. The global work speed is at 100%, which is pretty cool. Psychic sensitivity at 40%. Toxic sensitivity is at 10%, which is lower than the other ones. Another 20 degrees leeway added to the temperature. Immunity gain speed at 1000%, which is very cool. Then we have the tier 4, which has this little ding thing on its head, but you can see it's starting to look more like a proper android, I would say. Movement speed is set at 720, which is very quick. Temperature is at 70 degrees Celsius in the heat, and the minimum is -70, which is incredibly high. Psychic sensitivity at 40%, toxic sensitivity at 5%, and global learning speed at 200%, which is insanely high. 200% global learning speed is freaking awesome. And then the global work speed is at 180%. So this is a very, very good colonist. And then you get the tier 5. Now, I'll explain the tier 5 in a bit, because you do not get these by default. You cannot make them either. But this is the tier 5. Movement speed is at 10 CS, which is incredibly quickly. Global learning factor is at 600%, which is huge. That is absolutely massive. Psychic sensitivity at 40%, toxic sensitivity at 0%. Temperature wise, it goes up to 120 and -120, which is just ridiculous. And then global work speed is at a, meager 600%. And then I do have an enhanced one. This is all the best enhancements I could slide on to this colonist. Movement speed is at 15 CS. Mental break factor is at 20%. I'll get into why this is important soon though. Global learning speed is at 675%. It's an extra 16 degrees minimum comfortable temperature. Got like a frog in my throat. And then maximum temperature is also an extra 16 degrees. And then the work speed is up an extra 40% from that one. So let's take a look at what they take to make, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that decently expensive, which means they're going to be quite late game. Let me just do this so they don't actually make them. The tier 1 android takes 80 plasteel, 80 steel, and 20 components with a crafting skill of 8. Do you think that's good? Do you think that's good for what I listed? Tier 2 takes 140 plasteel, 80 steel, 25 components, and 20 gold with a crafting skill of 10. Insane. Very expensive. 180 plasteel for the tier 3, 180 plasteel, 12 advanced components, 20 uranium, 1 AI persona core, and 40 gold. Crafting skill of 12. And in tier 4 is 250 plasteel, 30 advanced components, 50 uranium, 2 AI persona cores, 30 gold, and then a crafting skill of 15. So these things are incredibly expensive. Incredibly expensive. You can actually take a look at their base value over here, $3,000. Let's take a look at this one. 51,000 silver. Crazy. Alright, so that's it for the androids. They're pretty cool. We can take a look at the animal stats quickly. So this is the K9 cybernetic unit. Temperature wise, it goes up to 100 degrees Celsius and -100 degrees Celsius, which is huge. The animal filth rate is actually less than the normal one. Carrying capacity at 75. You can train them to carry stuff. And then the damage is 4.1, which is not that high for what you'd think a mechanical dog would have, but that's fine. Then you get the Muffalo. Where did this stupid Muffalo go? So you get this Robotic Muffalo. I think it looks pretty awesome though. The MUFF unit. Hopefully you can think about that without thinking it's a big joke. Carrying capacity at 375, it doesn't matter because it cannot be trained to do that. And then 3 DPS, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you cannot actually train them to hold. But you can cheat the system like I just did. Woo! We love cheating. Yeah, so that is it for the androids themselves. Which is pretty cool. As I said though, you cannot actually make this tier 5 very easily. To actually get one of the tier 5 androids to become one of your own pawns, you need to actually get a world event to happen. And in the world event, it'll actually say strange crash. And that will actually allow you to go and find one of the downed androids. And then you can go and save one of the androids and actually come back and collect them. And they'll join your colony. But you have to keep in mind that these tier 5 androids are incredibly finicky. They will constantly break down due to this trait called intolerance, which means they have a permanent mood effect of -18 and social chat impact of 90%. Also, when they break down, it's generally a murderous rage, so they may just kill someone randomly in your colony. I actually built a whole lot of graves here due to the fact that they kept on killing random people in the colony. And Black, Mueller, and I think I dug up another 2, but pretty much they killed 4 people in the colony for no reason. And that's just something you need to deal with. Now the mod does have another aspect to it, which is the actual bionic parts that you can make for your colonists. So I made a whole lot of them here. The list is absolutely massive. Take a look at this. It rivals the normal bionics actually. expanded prosthetics and organ engineering. But I went ahead and installed all the best ones, because there's tiers to them. I installed all the best ones onto Chambers over here compared to Bundy, and he is another man compared to Bundy, pretty much. Let's give them a sword and make him duke him out. Wait, is that steel? Uranium steel. No, I want uranium. Uranium longsword legendary. Why is this one made out of steel? Seriously, someone made that before. I hate it when people don't listen to me, you know? Especially when they're androids. Androids should obey all— oh, there we go! Insulting spray. Okay, you guys got unlucky. Of course, this has to happen as I want to record something. It's fine, I suppose. You guys do what you please. And this is happening right now too. Okay. But yeah, so you get all these bionic parts. I went ahead and built most of them. Actually, I built all of them. But you also get medicine. So let me go ahead and show you that while this guy has his little breakdown. So we have Lloyd over here. And on the floor we have Mechanite Swarm. So let's consume some Mechanite Swarm. And you can see the effects straight away. You can see moving plus 15%, manipulation plus 15, and then carrying capacity plus 45. Now let's take Daedalus and enhance colonist and make him consume some. And let's watch him. And he is now toxicated, so he actually gets negative effects. So he has pain up 35%, consciousness down 15%, moving down 15%, and then manipulation down 25%, which is huge. So there is medicine in this game, drugs that your android colonist can take, but your human colonist cannot. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I love that aspect. The person who made this mod, Atlas, he's quite active on my Discord, is an actual genius. This is one of my favorite mods ever. I have to say it is one of the coolest mods I've come across. I wish that the tier 1 android was just a little bit cheaper. That's all I can really ask for. But all in all, I'm actually loving this mod. So let's make these androids duke it out, and then we can move on. He's still going at it. So I'll get a few questions asking about what they have to eat and stuff like that. So the lore about them, let's watch them fight. The lore about them is that they have bioreactors, so they need to eat food like any regular human, and they will turn that food into energy like we do. There we go, let's watch this happen. They're using uranium swords, by the way, so this might take a while. Yeah, good thing they're getting cleaned. Thank you guys for cleaning them. Can you bugger off, dude? Seriously, you watching this fucking fight? Alright. Left leg shattered. Yeah, you got destroyed, sir. You got destroyed. Coolant has been lost. And then what I wanted to show you was they actually, when they lose coolant, which is their equivalent of blood, it'll actually change their maximum and minimum temperatures. So maximum comfortable temperatures down 5 degrees, which is one of the coolest things ever. Seriously, seriously awesome. But yeah, they do need to sleep and everything like that. And besides that, they also have normal traits, normal needs, and everything else that comes along with a regular colonist. Anyways, this is the Android Tiers mod. Go send the mod maker some love. This is awesome. An absolutely awesome mod. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Is this mod broken? Is it fair? What do you think? Anyways, have a fantastic day, folks. I will see you all tomorrow. Hey, thank you very much for making it to the end of the video. It's really, really awesome of you. I've got a Discord server that's free for all to join if you'd like to come and have a chat with me or anyone else. And I've also opened up a Patreon page to help fund my videos. So if any of those interest you, please go ahead and take a look at the description. Have a great day, and thank you very much for watching.